The first queer moment of my life that I was really like, okay, this is something that feels right was I had a friend who lived near a lake, and we both were talking about our futures. And I remember sitting outside with him one day, and we would talk about kind of our interests in design and fashion, and it was things that we really didn't connect with the other boys with. It wasn't ever something that was sexual in any way, but it was just a moment where we were like, okay, we're not normal. We're not like everyone else. And that was a really comforting moment. As a kid, there's not a lot of outlets to express queerness. I would be able to draw the things that I thought were cool in my head or interesting, or the things that were different I could carry around with me. I remember making drawings on the side of my math homework and putting little like pencil sketches of high heels or really androgynous people on the side of my work. So it was kind of like an outlet that way, I would say. I'm doing a sort of a series on houses, and houses especially being constructed on top of each other and sort of each one at a different angle. I went to Europe over break, and we were at this room, and outside there was these series of different rooftops that were all at different angles, and there was a lot of chimneys. And then I went back home and I saw piping around this one structure, and I sort of thought, what if this was all just like a mess together? And that's sort of where it started. Not really knowing where you are, exploring new spaces, interests me a lot.
Could you state your name, class year?
I am Lauren Ritchie. Wait, fuck. Should I have done first and last name?
That's fine.
Is that weird?
I think, well, I did ask for your name, so I think it's fine.
Okay, sorry. I don't know why I second guessed. Okay. I'll give you space.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. I'm Lauren Ritchie. I'm a sophomore film and media studies major. I always leaned into more masculine clothes, as I still do. Always kind of like hung out with the guys, like sat at the boys' lunch table, played tag and like football at recess. So, I mean, a lot of them are stereotypes of what we think, I guess, a lesbian would look like, but I was a very stereotypical tomboy. I love filmmaking, cinematography, editing. I started with photography and I was probably awful at it. But then it kind of expanded and lended itself into videography and production and a future when I realized how much I loved it. Keith Haring, definitely. One of my favorites. The way he politicized art and brings awareness to it, I feel like is very effective. And I feel like art in general is an extremely effective way of communicating political ideologies, ideas. I want to create. When I get older, I don't know what I want to create, but I do know I want to create.
For the Mafia lip sync event, I had like an outfit reveal because I was wearing a caftan made from a bed sheet, and beneath that was like a silk robe, and beneath that was like this painted bra and like hot pants with like the Juicy Couture hot pants. And I think on Yik Yak, people were like, yeah, like they stripped in front of Nicole Hurd. They stripped in front of Nicole Hurd. I am a filmmaker. I am a drag artist. I am a degenerate little fuck who likes to throw things on canvas and make things and bend reality to my will. Girly things.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Right now, the big beast is my thesis. It's a piece called Consumption, and it's like this television play monster of a piece about a Chinese American family living in a suburban town, and everyone is a cannibal there. They specifically, like, systemically kill and raise and eat, like, people of color. The big dilemma for our main character is she can sell her people and sell herself to obtain, like, small modicums of success and acceptance from these people. Or she can hold on, to her values and who she is and everything she stands for and become eaten. Because I think oftentimes that's the kind of position people of color are put.
So I'm like a secret writer, but it was when I wrote about like two men falling in love, and I shared with my mom. She was like, "You can't write about that. Like, that's haram." And I was like, "Huh?" I was like, "What?" I was like, it just makes sense to me. It just, I don't know, like it just feels normal. And she's like, "You can't write about that." And I was like, okay. So then I changed it and made them brothers. But then I went back and I was like, actually, no, fuck this. I'm gonna make them lovers. So, yeah, that was my first act of queerness, I guess. Queer culture at Lafayette, I would describe it as white, first of all. But also, people here, I'm very impressed by many queer people here because they're very open and honest about themselves and their identities. But I'm going to go back to the white part. As a queer person of color and a queer religious person, I think I find myself struggling to relate to a lot of queer people at Lafayette. I don't really feel like I'm in like the secret society of gays or anything like that.
My grandfather was an artist. He was a doctor, and he would do like the instruments he used for like his job. He would like sterilize and then create like sculptures out of it. It's kind of cool. Don't put that there.
I'm gonna block down my eye. Well, first I'm gonna put on primer. Where the fuck? See, the process is always messy, and I know a lot of people who are like very elegant and nice about their makeup. I'm not. I fear I'm nasty and messy and gross, and that's just what we deal with. So we're gonna block down the eyebrows first, and this is something I'm still struggling with a lot, but it's supposed to like smooth out your eyebrows so it looks like you don't have eyebrows, so you can redraw on your eyebrows. I love getting into drag. I love doing drag in theater. Like Lafayette College, like was like, I'm never gonna let this bitch like just be like a woman or a man ever. Like I think every time like I've down a production, I played like a very gay, like, or genderly ambiguous person, and I kind of love it. Yeah, you know what? The eyebrows are gonna be sisters, not twins. Today, they're gonna be cousins.
So, Lauren, can you tell us a little bit about the projects you're currently working on?
Right now, I am also working on my own documentary. I am going with one of my friends, hopefully, to an abandoned middle school in Philly, and we're gonna capture that space and document our process and experience of going there. And I'm finding out that it's becoming a lot more political than I thought it initially first be, and I'm starting to ask guiding questions about ideas of ownership and limitations and restriction and who owns spaces.
Can you tell us a little bit about the email you just received?
Oh, they said screw you, but in a polite way. I reached out to the Historical Society of Pennsylvania to see if they know more about this, and they said they don't, but the director of librarian services or whatever is hoping to redirect me to someone that might know more about what I'm exploring here.
Thank you.
My inspiration isn't ever, I would say, like a logical way that is understandable that I think people will usually think in. It's more so just the culmination of a feeling or a color. I sometimes see like a stranger and I'll think of their own story, and that sort of, I think, drives me more than the people that I actually know. I'm interested in weird people in general. I think a lot of artists are weird.
You think you were weird?
No, I think I'm, yeah, very weird.
I think I was first really drawn to photography. Like, I love composition. I love like lighting. I love how things look, and I wanted to be able to create that myself. Like, I wanted to be able to create like moments in time, moments in like memory frozen. I got into filmmaking like my senior year of high school, and the class was just introducing me to like how videography works, how like cinematography works, and I was just like, okay, so now I can capture movement, and that's really cool. Like, it's I think that really drew me in, and I realized coming to college, like now I can talk about issues that are important to me, like identity, events that are going on in the world, and like it's just limitless possibilities with a camera when I have a camera in my hand. The project I'm definitely most proud of recently is the one I made about the hijab, and so I did like a performance, like cine dance, screen dance piece about like hijab and my experiences with wearing it and unwearing it and what that means for me. I want to incorporate my international affairs degree into filmmaking somehow. Also, I'd like to definitely make films about like the intersection between like queer and religious identities. Like, that's super important to me, and I want to be able to share that with people.
Well, I'm a drag performer, like I mentioned, and that has so much history, not only with the queer community, but with like the queer of color community, specifically like Harlem ballroom culture. And granted, there's like lots of like, I guess, drag around the world, but like what you see on like RuPaul's Drag Race, like that kind of drag, ballroom culture, club kids. And there's like a very like intensive and like rich and riddled history with like with drag, and you carry that wherever you go. But I think it is also some of the most joyful and most authentic that I've felt in my body.
We are on our way to Philly, baby. We're going to the school. Maps is saying we have an hour 15 left. I'm looking for more of a story that's being told through the building instead of just taking photos and videos of a space. Because I think there's a lot of a story there. Does my hair look good? Do you want to just walk around at least? This is freaky. It kind of feels like I just stepped into Fallout or something. It's like off a main road too and just in a neighborhood. And we're kind of just leaving it here. Can't see shit.
It's so easy to feel lost a lot of the times. It just feels like the idea of being an outcast becomes the community itself, and that gets to be isolating after a while.
Do you trust in the nine? Who's that man?
I remember like the first like really truly like queer joy that I felt was the first time that I went to Philly Pride. But it was like the bodies upon bodies and like these joyful people like, you know, celebrating themselves, to be in love, to be alive.
I got my first camera when I was 14, I think. So I was really, really excited about that. It was like the best. I took pictures of everything. Like, I love like taking photos of reflections and stuff like that because I thought it was so cool. Like the way you can manipulate light. Like I'm just a nerd.
I want to see more queer people around campus just be friends with each other more, and I think get to know each other a little bit better and see how we're just people.
And I think that I want to make documentaries, I know, but I also want to make like experimental documentaries that aren't necessarily like, that utilize like filmmaking methods that are more like exploratory and like hands-on.
It just came so naturally to me at such a young age that I just began to draw things. It was, I think, like I said, the only acceptable form of being myself that I could be.
And it's not just a celebration. Like, Pride is a protest. Pride is so many things. It is a loud declaration of like, we are here and we can't go anywhere.
I just love like little moments of joy, little moments of like hidden sadness or whatever, and I like to capture those feelings.
I love getting into drag. I love doing drag in theater.
It's just limitless possibilities with a camera when I have a camera in my hand.
I was doodling since I was very little.
I want to create.
And so I'd paint. And I'd paint and I draw and I draw and I paint because like I don't need anyone's permission to
And I
do
sort
that.
of thought, you know, what if this was all just like a mess together?
When I get older, I don't know what I want to create, but I do know I want to
That
create.
was my first act of queerness.
You know, I had to like put it on a document or
And
something,
I
or if
feel
I had
like
to
art in
explain
general
it.
as
These
So I'm
series of different
extremely
roof
effective
tops that
way
were
of
all at
communicating
different angles.
political
and there was
ideologies
just a lot of
and
changes. And then I sort of
write.
thought about,
That
you know,
was
what if
my first act of
One of my favorites, the way he politicized art.
It's just limitless possibilities with a camera when I have a camera in my hand.
Say something?